Still here.
All right, welcome back to Digital Domain Park. Quick break as our last game lasted about 3 hours and 15 minutes in Class 3A. It was playing Delray Boca American Heritage defeating St. Pete Catholic 5-4 in 9 innings. Now we're ready for our second 4A semifinal. The Monsignor Pace Spartans out of Miami, a record of 22-7, and their opponent, the Bishop Verot Vikings, the defending 3A state champions, now in 4A out of Fort Myers. The Bishop Verot Vikings are 28-2. Welcome you back to Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. Marty Palman along with Mark Schanbach, and apologize as everything is now we run over. We were supposed to start this game at 7. Our last game ended about 7:15. Quickly we've turned around and now getting ready for our fourth and final game of the day. The winner of this game will play the Pensacola Catholic Crusaders tomorrow at 2:05 for the 4A state championship, and if Bishop Verot wins, it'll be a rematch of last year's 3A final, won by the Vikings 4-3. Monsignor Pace, state champs in 2006 under Thomas Duffin, also won a couple times in the 80s under John Messina, who's now the coach here at Centennial High School here in St. Lucie West, and also the host of this tournament. Bishop Verot, besides their state title last year, won it in 1994 in 2A under John Ciuta. Monsignor Pace winners in 1988 and 85, runner-up in 86 and 87 under Coach John Messina back then. Also, and then as I said, won it in 2006, won the state title in Class 4A. The starting lineup for Monsignor Pace, leading off and pitching, is number 33, Alex Perez. Hitting second, the right fielder, number 20, Aaron Soto. Batting third at first base, number 16, David Palenzuela. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 24, Tony Davila. Hitting fifth in left field, number 59, Brandon Gomez. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 7, Manuel Pazos. Hitting seventh and catching, number 11, Anthony Dela Cruz. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 8, Andrew McCoy. And hitting ninth, the shortstop, number 2, Brian Bermudez. A reminder, tomorrow's championship games in 3A and 4A have been changed. The 3A game was at 4:05, now at 11:05. 11 a.m. tomorrow will be on the air here from Port St. Lucie, Jacksonville Providence, and Delray Boca American Heritage. And the 4A championship game moved from 7 o'clock to 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon due to expected bad weather in the area. We're underway. First pitch to Alex Perez is a ball, 1-0. Right-hander for Bishop Verot, Jeff Passantino getting the start. He is 9-1, his 13th appearance, 12th start, 68 innings pitched, allowed 55 hits, 12 earned runs, 9 walks, and 65 strikeouts, a 1.24 ERA with 2 shutouts as Perez fouls it off, and it's now 1-2. All right. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if I'm there. We go. Marty, last time I saw Monsignor Pace play was a couple years ago at Bishop Moore in a tournament in Orlando.
2-2 inside, ball 3-3-2. They're a well-known program.
You usually have a pretty healthy sized roster and big-bodied boys.
Last time they won in 2006, they defeated Jacksonville Bishop Kenny 14-9 to win in 4A. Swung and fouled back to the screen. We mentioned Bishop Verot with a run in the bottom of the 7th last year, beat Pensacola Catholic 4-3 to win the state championship in 3A, and they may get a shot at a rematch as Pensacola Catholic beating Bishop Moore this afternoon 3-2 in our first 4A semifinal.
I get a little chuckle that we're finally now into the twilight of the day here, and we have a team wearing all white for the first time.
Popped up into right field, and the play made for Bishop Verot, that is Josh Garcia, 1 out as Perez pops up. That is true. The last two teams wore gray American Heritage and
dark
St. Pete
tops,
Catholic.
a lot of black tops during the middle of the day when it was 90+ degrees. We're just starting to
was the 1 o'clock game today.
slow down. The temperature is starting to drop. We're getting back down to 87 here at 7:43 at night.
Wind is a little bit of wind coming through, mostly out to right field as Aaron Soto, the right fielder, takes the ball 1-0. Soto at 236 with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. And pops it foul to play off to the left. It's 1-1. Monsignor Pace, winners of District 14 and Region 4. They defeated Pinecrest 2-1, Coral Springs Charter 7-4, and then Gulliver Prep 9-3 in the region final to advance to Port St. Lucie for the first time since 2006 in the state semifinals. And Bishop Verot, defending state champs back here, as the pitch is a strike 2-1. They defeated St. Andrews 7-0, Lincoln Park 11-1, and Berkeley Prep 6-1 to win Region 3. Also champs of District 11. 2-1 is hit in between first and second. It gets behind both defenders, actually off Evan Doherty's glove at first and right around the second baseman Paul Breton. Gets into left field. That'll be a base hit for Aaron Soto. He's the first with one out.
Good approach with the hard ground ball, finding a hole. Actually bounced off of a fielder, deflected so that the opposite direction.
So one out. Defensively for Bishop Verot, we mentioned at first base it's Evan Doherty. Second baseman is Paul Breton. Third base Nick Rivera. The shortstop is Bobby Brennan. In the outfield, right fielder Josh Garcia. The left fielder is Chase Vogelbach. And center field Brock Graber. Behind the plate Frankie Romano and Jeff Passantino on the mound. First pitch to David Palenzuela misses. It's 1-0. Palenzuela 488. 3 home runs and 17 RBIs. 1-0 on the way is hit to first. It's knocked down there. Doherty going to go to first himself and step on the bag for the out. 3 unassisted. Soto moves to second now with 2 outs.
This time Doherty able to put the door stopper down and keep that ball from rolling through.
Monsignor Pace as a team hitting .349 with 178 runs scored, 149 RBIs, 18 home runs on the year. Tony Davila, the third baseman, bats now with 2 outs. He's hitting .560. Wow. 23 RBIs, 47 hits and 84 at bats, 19 runs scored, 6 doubles, and a home run. Down the middle for a strike, 0-1. It is, as you would guess, the highest average on the Monsignor Pace team. 2 out, runner at second, the 0-1. It misses outside in the dirt. Good stop over there by the catcher, Frankie Romano. It's 1-1. So Soto at second after the 1-out single. He's now there with 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch, swinging and foul back to the backstop, 1-2.
Took a mammoth cut at that ball. That ball might have hit the Monsignor Pace logo up there on the Digital Domain Park scoreboard. That was a huge cut.
We are in Port St. Lucie, Digital Domain Park, the home of the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals. 4th year the finals have been held here on the Treasure Coast, St. Lucie County. The spring training home of the New York Mets and the regular season home of the St. Lucie Mets of the Florida State League, Digital Domain Park. 1-2 on the way from Passantino. Called strike 3 in the outside corner. Davila goes down looking. First strikeout of the game for Bishop Verot pitcher Jeff Passantino. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 runner left on base for Monsignor Pace. As we go to the bottom of the first in our second 4A semifinal of the day, Monsignor Pace nothing. Bishop Verot coming to bat here on the FHSAA Network. We'll be back in Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
Also check out the baseball page on FHSAA.org for a list of championship game replays. I remind our fans, tomorrow the Class 3A state championship game has been rescheduled for 11 a.m. and the Class 4A state championship game has been rescheduled for 2 p.m. here at Digital Domain Park.
All right, we head to the bottom of the second, or bottom of the first, pardon me. I'm getting ahead of myself. No score between Monsignor Pace and Bishop Verot, our 4th and final game of the day. This is day 7 of the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals, and this is the second 4A semifinal of the game. The winner to play Pensacola Catholic tomorrow at 2 o'clock for the 4A state championship. And no score, Bishop Verot coming to bat in the bottom of the first. The lineup for the Vikings, who are 28-2, coached by David Nelson in his first season, leading off and playing right field is number 7, Josh Garcia. Hitting second, the second baseman, number 14, Paul Breton. Batting third, the third baseman, number 15, Nick Rivera. Hitting fourth and playing left field, number 11, Chase Vogelbach. Hitting fifth is the pitcher, number 22, Jeff Passantino. Batting sixth, at first base, number 12, Evan Doherty. Hitting seventh and catching for Bishop Verot, number 13, Frankie Romano. Batting eighth in center field is number 1, Brock Graber. And hitting ninth, the shortstop, number 16, Bobby Brennan. And they will face the Monsignor Pace pitcher, Alex Perez. Alex Perez, 8-1. His 12th start of the year, 59 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 45 hits, 11 earned runs, only 5 walks, and 77 strikeouts. With a 1.29 ERA, a right-hander, Alex Perez, starting for Monsignor Pace, and he will face the leadoff batter for Bishop Verot, Josh Garcia. Garcia, a senior, takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Garcia, 534, 16 RBIs, 7 doubles, 47 hits, and 44 runs scored, also 4 triples. Chops the ball to first, foul, right off the first base side, and it's now 1-1. Defensively for the Monsignor Pace Spartans, coached by Thomas Duffin at first base, David Palenzuela, the second baseman Manuel Pazos, at shortstop Brian Bermudez, the third baseman Tony Davila, Aaron Soto in right field, the center fielder Andrew McCoy, Brandon Gomez in left, Anthony Dela Cruz behind the plate, and Alex Perez is on the mound. 2-1 the count now to Josh Garcia. Bishop Verot's first at bat here in the bottom of the first. Longtime coach Tom Lasoro retiring after last season. David Nelson, who came out of Michigan, fouled off to the right by Garcia, now 2-2. Graduate of Carthage College in Wisconsin and high school in Kalamazoo, Michigan. 31 years old now, the head coach down in Fort Myers at Bishop Verot. And he's got the Vikings right back in the state semifinals a year after winning a state championship. 2-2 the count. And swing and a miss by Garcia. Waved at a pitch out in front of the plate, and that's 1 out.
A well-executed pitch had him totally fooled.
So Perez opens with a strikeout, 1 out. Now here's Paul Breton, the second baseman. This is the second Pace team we've had in these finals. Had 2 American Heritages. Plantation American Heritage winning 5A. Delray Boca American Heritage will play for the 3A title tomorrow. It was Pace High School in the Panhandle near Pensacola as it's hit up the middle and off the glove of Manuel Pazos into center field. And on the backhand, looks like that'll be a base hit as well for Paul Breton. First hit of the game for Bishop Verot. Pace out of the Panhandle came in second to Archbishop McCarthy in the 6A class, losing 5-4 in the championship game, 4-3. And Monsignor Pace, totally different school out of Miami.
Well, that ground ball off the glove, similar to the ground ball going off of Bishop Verot's glove in the first inning. So they each have 1 hit.
Here's Nick.
Via the ground ball.
Nick Rivera, the third baseman, hits with the runner at first, 1 out. 519, 4 home runs, 35 RBIs, 41 hits, and 40 runs scored for Rivera. Also 12 doubles. He leads his team in home runs, doubles, second in average, second in hits, and leads in RBIs as well, and leading second in runs scored. He 0-1 the count. This is outside, 1-1. Bishop Verot hits 12 home runs this year, but they are hitting .369 as a team, 266 runs scored, 221 RBIs, 61 doubles. Very good hitting team are the Vikings. 1-1 the count. Perez looks to first. And now the pitch on the way is outside, 2-1.
Monsignor Pace, red and white colors. As we go into the twilight, the big lights are on. They are playing under the lights. This semifinal to the championship.
Last game in 3A was a long game, longest game we've had all week. 3 hours and 15 minutes, took 9 innings to play. Just to throw to first, back in is Breton. And in the end, it was Delray Boca American Heritage holding off St. Petersburg Catholic 5-4. American Heritage will play Jacksonville Providence tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the Class 3A title. Pensacola Catholic awaits the winner of this game tomorrow afternoon at 2:05 in the 4A championship. 2-1, popped up into center field. And now moving in a few steps, making the play is Andrew McCoy. And back to first goes Breton. Rivera flies out to center. That's 2 outs. Now here is Chase Vogelbach, the left fielder.
Left fielder, number 11, Chase Vogelbach.
Had another Vogelbach on this team last year. It was a second round draft pick on that state championship team. Chase Vogelbach at 398, 32 runs driven in, 35 hits, 28 runs scored, a home run, and 6 doubles.
I'll tell you, the size of these boys, they remind me more of a collegiate team based on their overall eyeball check.
Throw to first, and Breton back in. 2 outs with a runner at first. They're in the bottom of the first, no score.
Two outs, good chance that runner might be in motion here. Nope.
Pitch outside, and it's 1-0. Faking a throw to first is Dela Cruz. Man, the last 2 games today have been 1-run games. Pensacola Catholic winning 3-2 over Bishop Moore in 3A and 4A, and then our 3A game 5-4 for American Heritage in 9 innings. A 4-0 game this morning in the first 3A semifinal. Providence defeating Tampa Prep. And stepping out is Vogelbach. Count 0-1. It says 86 degrees on the scoreboard in left center field, and it's pretty much clear right now over Digital Domain Park. Some clouds off to our east as the pitch again low. It's 1-1. And the sun now beginning to set in the west here. Airport St. Lucie.
I believe we have officially reached dusk.
And the stadium in dark now, or in dark. The lights are on, but no sunlight on the field now as it misses outside 2-1. Tomorrow expecting rain later in the day, is what I understand. So we'll move the games up tomorrow. The last 2 games we have.
Beautiful shot of our sunset over the crest of the trees.
And our last game of the day is the runner holds up, popped up on the infield. Third baseman has a play on the dirt. That is Davila making the catch for out number 3. So a 1-out single, but nothing doing for Bishop Verot. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on. We go to the second, no score between Monsignor Pace and Bishop Verot in our 4A semifinal game here on the FHSAA network. We'll be back to Port St. Lucie in 60 seconds.
Have your hands after the game. It's a product that works, helping you to train better and perform better when you play your hardest. Gatorade, is it in you?
We go to the top of the second, no score. Monsignor Pace will have 5, 6, 7 coming up against Bishop Verot's Jeff Passantino in the top of the second, no score. Both teams with a hit in the first, both teams with a runner left on base as we start our 4A semifinal, our second game of the day in 4A, fourth game of the day overall in 3A and 4A. And our earlier 4A semifinal, interesting game, Pensacola Catholic with a great performance by Avery Geyer, who hitched a complete game, and Coach Richard LeBounty in his 29th year at Pensacola Catholic almost couldn't decide if he wanted to take him out. He said he never thought twice, but he was pacing in front of the dugout as it's fouled off to the right. And it's 0-1 to Brandon Gomez. In the 7th inning, Bishop Moore got a run to make it 3-2, had 2 on, and he was pacing up and down in front of that dugout, but never took Geyer out, and Geyer got the complete game victory.
I think he made a great quote when he said, "I truly believe in winners and losers, and Geyer's a winner, and it was his game to win."
Chopped to second by Gomez. Paul Breton makes the throw to first in time, and Gomez is out number 1 in the second. Yes, he did say that in the postgame. It was a pretty telling comment, and it's a guy who's been coaching for 29 years. He knows his guys, and so Pensacola Catholic will try to win their second state title in baseball. Another time was in 2003. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock against the winner of this game. There's the ball 1-0 to Manuel Pazos.
Well, to a man, though, Geyer at the post-game interview, he admitted he really had very little but fumes left.
He was pretty hot. He was pretty much running on adrenaline as that's in for a strike, 1-1. Manuel Pazos batting .265, 2 home runs and 16 RBIs. 1-1 on the way. Breaking pitches inside. It's 2-1. Last year, Pensacola Catholic playing Bishop Verot in the 3A final. The game decided in the bottom of the 7th on a walk-off single. 2-1 is popped foul. It'll get onto the overhang here and make it down below into the parking lot. It's 2-2. So the 2-2 on the way with 1 out, nobody on, and it's hit down the right field line. Going to get into the seats foul, and it remains 2-2. We are down to our last 3 games of these baseball finals. This is the last semifinal game. 2 more games tomorrow, championship games, and it's over for 2012. Chop to third. It goes off the glove of Nick Rivera down at third, and that'll allow Pazos to reach first. And that will be an error charge to the third baseman, who had a play if he came up with it cleanly, but the ball went off his glove. First error of the game goes against Bishop Verot's Nick Rivera.
Rivera had the right idea, coming hard after that ball. Ball got behind his peripheral vision, and I think it actually hit him in the wrist. Kind of missed the glove by just a little bit. It'll be an error.
It is an error, first of the game for either team. 1 out, the runner at first. And it'll be Anthony Dela Cruz, the catcher for Monsignor Pace. .250, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs for De La Cruz. On the outside corner for a strike, it's 0-1. This is another home plate umpire that's kind of hard to tell if he's calling a ball or a strike. Not a very emphatic strike call. Kind of just puts his hand and signals
subdued
strike. Throw to first, and high throw, almost thrown away, but Pazos back in. You know that you really have to be emphatic, but most home plate umpires are. It seems like it's just kind of part of the job of being an umpire. 0-1 the count. A very big lead for Pazos. Swing and a miss, good fastball there by Pasantino. And it's 0-2. De La Cruz, the catcher, behind 0-2.
Well, it would appear that these two teams not setting out in the beginning to run a lot. Respect for the catchers on both sides. Not had an attempt at a stolen base yet.
Timeout called. Oh, and 2 the count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for Pasantino as De La Cruz goes down swinging. 2 outs. There's Andrew McCoy, the center fielder.
Good plus velocity on that pitch on the outside corner. Reach back for a little something extra.
McCoy at .253, 7 RBIs. First pitch from Pasantino is high. He called it a strike. 0-1. Runner at first with 2 outs. And the 0-1 on the way. Swung and fouled back to the backstop. It's now 0-2. Quickly 0-2 to McCoy. So 0-2 the count with 2 outs, a runner at first. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another fastball. Pasantino strikes out McCoy and De La Cruz. He now has 3 strikeouts, actually, back-to-back strikeouts to end the second. So a runner reaches on an error, but a runner left. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and a runner left on. We go to the bottom of the second. No score between Monsignor Pace and Bishop Verot in our 4A semifinal here on the FHSAA Network. Back in 1 minute.
All things sporting good.
All right, to the bottom of the second we go. No score. Bishop Verot will have 5, 6, and 7 to up. Jeff Passantino, the pitcher, leading off for the Vikings against Alex Perez of Monsignor Pace. Marty Paulman, Mark Schambeck with you from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. The 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals, our second 4A semifinal game of the day. Passantino at the plate, 386, 23 RBIs. Takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1.
Well, he's looking to help his own cause right here.
The 0-1 is inside, 1-1.
Both pitchers DHing for themselves, meaning they're going to hit. And if they ever come out of the game, they'll remain in to hit. If they come out of the game to pitch, I should say, they'll remain in to hit.
Hit to short. Nice play on a backhand throw to first in time as the throw across by Brian Bermudez in time gets Passantino. 1 out. Good play backing up there. That'll bring up Evan Doherty, the first baseman.
Had to be awkward waiting around all day just for your turn to play, watching all these games being played. Finally, here they are.
And the first pitch is bunted up in the air and right in between. As the charging Tony Davila tried to make the play in foul territory. Then Dela Cruz couldn't get there either, so it's 0-1.
We almost had a disaster there. Two big boys coming full steam at each other, chasing the ball. Calamity avoided. I think this is my favorite time of the night here, Marty. It's dropped to 82 degrees just in the last 15 minutes. We got about a 7 or 8 degree drop.
Yeah, this is the best time, right when the sun goes down. You can feel it about 8 o'clock or so. 82 degrees seems warm, but it's not as muggy as it was. Nice breeze. Hit into center field by
base hit.
Yeah, Doherty gets a base hit. That's the second hit of the game for Bishop Verot. He'll be at first with 1 out.
First line drive into the outfield. First 2 base hits were garden variety off the infielder's glove infield.
So Frankie Romano, the catcher, now a bat.
Wow, is he a large boy for a catcher?
And Romano listed at
6'4", senior.
Yeah, is a pretty big catcher.
I remember way back in the day when Dale Murphy, the 3-time MVP outfielder, came up with the Braves organization as a catcher. 6'5".
Line drive into center. It's going to fall for a base hit. Heading to third is Doherty. The throw is up the line. He'll get to third. The throw to second is not in time. Romano goes to second, and all of a sudden Bishop Verot was second and third. There's some speed there as Doherty never stopped at second base. That ball was hit right in front of the center fielder, Andrew McCoy, and never even hesitating was Doherty. And Romano gets into second on the throw up the line to third. We're going to have a runner at second base. It's like number 8 or 9. It's hard to tell when their numbers are yellow. So second and third, 1 out.
Yeah, not much of a black outline on those. Back-to-back Sharps base hits.
So that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Brock Graber. So a chance for Bishop Verot here in the bottom of the second.
A little activity for pace in the bullpen, number 27, Louis DeVille.
And they're not wasting any time.
Stretching.
The pitch in for a strike, 0-1.
Louis DeVille.
Luis DeVille. Graber at 306, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. And stepping out is Graber, the center fielder. Trying to break on top is Bishop Verot in the bottom of the second. Breaking pitch outside, 1-1. One and one the count, and Graber steps out. Bobby Brennan, the shortstop, on deck. 3 hits now for Bishop Verot. It's probably tough to say the featured game of the day. 2 programs who have won multiple state championships in baseball. Excellent programs. Bishop Verot winning last year and in 1994. Monsignor Pace winning in 2006. And 4 times to the state championship game in a row from 85 to 88. 2 championships in 85 and 86 under John Messina, who's now the coach at St. Lucie West Centennial, which is like a mile from here. He's the host of the tournament here in Port St. Lucie. Fouled back to the screen. It's 1-2. Had a great career at Monsignor Pace, and then moved a little bit north here to St. Lucie.
It seems to be the division, the 4A division, that has the most rivalry, I will say, amongst the top teams.
As you see, the left-hander in the bullpen for Pace, Monsignor Pace. You mentioned DeVille warming up. 1-2. Swinging and a miss, strike 3. Good job by Perez to come back and get Graber, who was well in front of that one. And now 2 outs. Second strikeout for Alex Perez. Monsignor Pace, state champs in 85 and 88, runners up in 86 and 87, making it 4 years in a row at that time.
First run still 90 feet away. It's going to take nine-hole hitter Bobby Brennan.
Yeah, 2 outs for Brennan. Also champs in 1980 and 78, so Monsignor Pace, great history. 5-time state champion in baseball. Bishop Verot as well. Bishop Verot trying to get a run across as Brennan awaits the first pitch from Perez. It's outside, 1-0. Alex Perez on the mound. Bobby Brennan, 278, 12 RBIs, 22 hits, 19 runs scored. 1-0 the count. Number 9 hitter trying to come through for the Vikings, and he'll step out.
Have we determined the correct Floridian pronunciation? Bishop Verot or Verot?
It's Verot. And while that may not be the correct English, that's what we call them here in Florida. Bishop Verot is a school that's been very successful through the years, but I can see where you call it Verot.
Verot is the French pronunciation, which is very sophisticated, and if you're drinking white wine, it sounds very nice.
2-0 the count. As Brennan steps out. Well, I wasn't going there, but yeah.
Verot would be the Okeechobee version.
Which isn't that far from Fort Myers.
No.
And yet.
Immokalee.
Yeah. 2-0 the count. The pitch is right down the middle for a strike, 2-1. 2 on, 2 out. Second and third, 2 outs. The count 2-1.
Most vocal crowd we've had of the day. I think the temperatures allow the crowd not to be so sleepy with the sun beating on them all day.
I think like it's getting warmer every day this week. I think today was our warmest day we've had yet. 2-1 inside, and it's 3-1.
It was definitely tough when there was no breeze, and we were at 91 degrees. All the teams competed very well today.
Yeah, 2 one-run games, and the first game today was 4-0 on a good pitching. 3-1 is outside ball 4. So Perez loses Brennan. The bases are loaded with 2 outs, and now the top of the order, Josh Garcia, the right fielder, is up. He struck out in the first.
Well, now the table setter Garcia is going to be asked to be the RBI man with the bases juiced. 2 outs. We've been very blessed today. In spite of the heat, we've got no rain delays today. We had 1 extra inning game that pushed us back a little bit, but we've been running very well today, and let's pray tomorrow continues that run.
This would be the 3rd day in a row without a delay, really, since Monday. All right, I said too much. Keith reminds me to don't say it too loud. Swing and a miss by Garcia. Ahead of that one again. It's 0-1. Nice out right now, though. I enjoy the nighttime baseball. I'd be okay with playing all the games at night, but, you know. Bases loaded, 2 outs. We don't need 10 a.m. games.
Infielders playing deep along the backside of the grass in the middle.
Let's play at 10 p.m. We did that a couple times this week. The 0-1 on the way from Perez. That's in the dirt.
And a beautiful block, saving a run.
Good stop there by De La Cruz. 1-1 the count. And now we have a little housekeeping to do on home plate. With these umpires out of the Swanee Association, which is up near my neck of the woods, Gainesville. 1-1 the count. And the pitch on the way. And a bunt fouled. It looked like he was bunting, and he did foul it off, so it's 1-2.
Well, Marty, speaking of the Swanee, the Okefenokee, and the St. Johns rivers, major tributaries used by the Seminole Indian tribes to get around back in the pre-Christopher Columbus days.
And timeout called. And De La Cruz will head out, talk it over, and that'll give a chance for Garcia to go down and talk with his coach at third base.
Little history, where Bishop Verot is located in Fort Myers, the only way you used to be able to get to Fort Myers, and where Thomas Edison did many of his experiments during the winter, is you would take a boat. You'd take the train as far as St. Augustine and get on a boat and sail all the way around the tip of Florida to get to Fort Myers. Useless information, but yet thought I'd share that with everyone.
Some good Florida history from Mark Schambach.
Well, this is the Florida State Championships, Class 4A here at Digital Domain Park.
Well, we're talking about Fort Myers. That's where Bishop Verot is located. 1-2 the count, with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Boy, the crowd is loud and on their feet on the Vikings side. Alex Perez looks in. The pitch. Low, ball 2-2.
Well, you never know when that poignant moment of the game is going to happen. Right here with bases loaded. If this rally is averted, Monsignor Pace will be energized. If Bishop Verot gets a base hit right here, it could blow the game open.
2-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Garcia strikes out for the second time in as many innings, and he leaves the bases loaded. The Monsignor Pace team fired up as they come off the field.
And we have hundreds of red shirt Monsignor Pace fans standing now and cheering. The most vocal crowd we've had of the day as we go to the break.
No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 left on base for Bishop Verot. We go to the third, no score, in our 4A semifinal here on the FHSAA Network. Back in 1 minute.
Teams of people will make high school athletics of the state of Florida the best. Follow on Twitter at FHSAA for instant news and updates, along with information on issues that affect Florida high schools. Be a fan of it all. Our special thanks to the Treasure Coast Sports Commission, St. Lucie County, Duffy Sports Grill, and Kaiser University for sponsoring the FHSAA Baseball Championship.
We go to the third inning, no score between Monsignor Pace and Bishop Verot. And the Spartans of Monsignor Pace will have 9-1-2 coming up here in the top of the third against Jeff Passantino of Bishop Verot. The Vikings leave the bases loaded. They've left 4 on base through 2 innings. Monsignor Pace has had a runner left on each of the first 2 innings as well. So we're still looking for our first run of the game. Bishop Verot with 3 hits and an error. 1 hit so far for Monsignor Pace. Fouled far down the left field line. That'll get out of play by Brian Bermudez. 4 home runs, 16 RBIs, a .333 average for Bermudez.
Well, we couldn't have a we couldn't have a more dramatic game than we just had seen completed, but a little more energy in this ball game already, just in the third inning.
And that is a strike quickly. 0-2 now to Bermudez.
Two passionate fan groups here.
And good crowd on hand tonight. The 0-2 hit foul over down the third base line and out of play. And it remains 0-2. Two on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. Passantino gets another strikeout. That's 3 in a row now and 4 in the game as Bermudez strikes out to start the top of the third. 1 out. Here's Alex Perez, the pitcher, the leadoff hitter, 0 for 1 with a fly to right. And ball hit down the right field line, getting towards the seats, and will make it out of play. And it is now 0-1. So 2 more state champions to be crowned tomorrow. We've already had 6. In 1A, it was Union County out of Lake Butler. In 2A, Deltona Trinity Christian. We got 3A and 4A to go. 5A, Plantation American Heritage. 6A, Southwest Ranches Archbishop McCarthy for the 3rd straight year tying a state record. 7A was Venice. And 8A was Port Orange Spruce Creek winning its first state title. Also the first for Union County in their school's history in baseball.
Marty, how about that Deltona Trinity Christian team? Didn't they have like 6 guys over 6'4"?
1-1 is inside. 2-1. Yeah, they won for the 3rd time in 4 years last night. 3rd state title in 4 years. And they have a 6'7", 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 6'8", 6'4". So yes, the answer is 6 players over 6'4". Like I said, they could start a pretty good basketball team. They wouldn't even need guards, really. Just the front court. 2-2 the count. And not only that, they're a pretty good baseball team, winning another state title. Hit foul off to the right and out of play. And it remains 2-2. And the 2-2 again on the way is right down the middle, called strike 3. 4 strikeouts in a row now for Passantino. 2 outs in the third. He is rolling right now through this Monsignor Pace lineup. 2 outs. There's Aaron Soto, the right fielder. Soto had the only hit in the game for Monsignor Pace in the first. Not a huge strikeout pitcher in 68 innings, 65 strikeouts.
He's feeling the adrenaline tonight. Sort of a barrel-chested shaped pitcher. Not your tall, lanky arms and legs coming at you kind of guy. Just a bulldog out there on the hill.
0-1 is low. It's 1-1. Reminder that our championship games tomorrow have been moved. The 3A game originally scheduled for 4 o'clock will be at 11 a.m. The 4A championship originally scheduled for 7 o'clock will be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Popped up in foul territory in the third base side. Ooh, almost dropped in the bullpen, but a nice catch made by Chase Vogelbach, the left fielder. That will end the top of the third as Monsignor Pace goes 1-2-3. And for the first time today, nobody puts a runner on base. We go to the bottom of the third. No score between Monsignor Pace and Bishop Verot in our 4A semifinal here in the FHSAA network. We'll be back at Digital Domain Park in 60 seconds.
Gatorade Thirst Quencher, is it in you? Pinch Penny Pools, patios and spas, the perfect people for a perfect pool. Sports Authority, your baseball authority. Balfour, makers of official FHSAA championship rings. Glossy Finish, the official photographer of the FHSAA. Field Turf, the ultimate surface experience. Florida Virtual School, online education, anytime, any place, any path, any pace. Sun Sports at FSM Florida, the exclusive television homes for the FHSAA Finals. And Right Now Sports Network, the official cable partner of the FHSAA. And Madden, who supply the official baseball for the 2012 FHSAA Finals.
All right, we go to the bottom of the third, no score, as Bishop Verot will send up 2, 3, and 4 in the bottom of the third, this 4A semifinal with Monsignor Pace. Bishop Verot leaving the bases loaded in the bottom of the second as Josh Garcia struck out swinging. And Alex Perez begins his third inning on the mound for the Spartans. Paul Breton singled in the first, 1 for 1. He was left stranded. The second baseman for Bishop Verot. Marty Paulman, Mark Schambach back here in Port St. Lucie. First pitch up high, and it's 1-0.
Last time I could feel the adrenaline pumping like these young men must be right now was probably during a tournament out in Wichita, Kansas. And unfortunately, I was more effective as a 81-82 control pitcher. I was throwing probably 84-85 that day, but the ball was flat. Gave up 3 home runs to the same man playing for the Dallas Sharps. He had just been released for Double-A. Gave up another home run that went foul, and on the next pitch he hit a ground rule double.
Jeez.
You could say I made his day, but we were out of pitching, so I had to finish that game.
Paul Breton flies out to center field. 1 out is a catch made by McCoy. Again, a reminder, tomorrow's championship games have been moved. The 3A championship game now will start at 11 a.m. between Jacksonville Providence and American Heritage from Boca Del Rey, and then the 4A championship game will be at 2 o'clock rather than 7 o'clock. It'll be Pensacola Catholic against the winner of this game. So tomorrow, 11 a.m. for 3A, 2 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon for 4A. Times were originally 4 and 7, moved up because of possibility of weather tomorrow. And pitch misses outside. It's now 2-0 to Nick Rivera, who flew to center his first time up. And yes, the Mets, St. Lucie Mets, will be back in town on Friday. And discussion going on in the where we eat our meals, that if the weather, which is actually supposed to be rain most of the day tomorrow, as it's foul off into the seats, we may have to play Friday morning. because you know, we haven't been here long enough. So why not? No, let's try and not do that. Because when the Mets play at 7 o'clock on
all they know
Friday.
is they've been here just a day or two.
That's true.
The rest of our crew since last Wednesday.
2-1 is up and in. 3-1. Well, the month of May, pretty much the FHSAA finals just run from one into another. We went from water polo to track to lacrosse to softball, right into baseball pretty much. A couple days in between there for softball and baseball, as that's a called strike to Revere at 3-2. And
none overlap then?
no, they don't actually. Well, track and lacrosse do are the same time, but yeah,
Okay.
they other than that, it's just 2 days on a weekend. Well, track is 4 days, lacrosse is 2 days. Track is on 2 weekends, but yeah, everything else doesn't overlap. 3-2 the count, as the pitch from Perez is hit up the middle, and it skips over the glove of Manuel Pazos, the second baseman, goes into center field. We'll see if Rivera gets a hit. It's a tough play up the middle, and it is a base hit for Rivera. He's 1 for 2. He'll be at first with 1 out. It's like Monsignor Pace wears those peace symbol on their hat. Looks like the Philadelphia Phillies. Look down their lineup, looks like the Phillies.
Old school Phillies.
Yeah, back to the 80s. Old. Here is Trace Vogelbach, the left fielder, 0 for 1. He popped the third his first time up. And a little bit outside, 1-0. How about this score? Game 5 tonight in the Stanley Cup Eastern Conference Finals. Mid-first period, the New Jersey Devils already leading at 3-0 in Madison Square Garden over the Rangers. It's a nice hatred matchup, New Jersey and New York. 1-0 the count as Rivera gets his lead at first. And Vogelbach, fair ball down the third base line. It's going to get all the way into the corner.
That's going to rattle around and score a run.
Rivera rounding third. He will come home to score the first run of the game as the throw is cut off. It's an RBI double for Chase Vogelbach, and Bishop Verot takes a 1-0 lead. And that ball was hammered right down the third base line fair. And Rivera on the run, no chance to get him. As he said, that ball rattled around in the corner for a while, and the Vikings do get the first run of the game. They left the bases loaded in the second, and in the third they strike. Now 5 hits for Bishop Verot.
That ball was scorched, got down the line quickly on the ground. As fast as left fielder Gomez could get there, it rattled around a little bit further and allowed all the way from first base the runner to score.
So 1 out, the runner at second, and a run in. 1-0. Vogelbach is at second. Rivera scored on the play all the way from first base.
The last 2 balls hit hard, got the attention of Monsignor Pace coach. David Nelson's got their attention with his boys hitting the ball hard.
Thomas Duffin, the head coach at Monsignor Pace.
Duffin is sent down to the bullpen. Alex Mateo now, along with Jonathan Hernandez.
Pasantino pops it up on the first pitch. This is the play for Pazos at second. He'll make the catch, and that's a big second out as Pasantino's 0 for 2, and now 2 outs. That'll bring up Evan Doherty. Doherty singled in the second inning, 1 for 1.
I always get a kick out of the pace of the modern day 16, 17, 18-year-old. Really don't ever seem to show much sense of urgency. If I were given the opportunity to go get loose, I would be sprinting to the bullpen and immediately getting my tosses in, asking for the ball.
And the lefty and the righty.
Of course, I was a reliever in college, so I was used to being able to get up and get ready within 10, 11 pitches.
Whoop, as you mentioned there, Mateo and Jonathan Hernandez is the left-hander. Alex Mateo, the right-hander. 2 in the bullpen for Pace. 2 outs. And Doherty, as we mentioned, takes the first pitch, actually fouls it off. And it's 0-1. Now the wind. I think our booth is in a wind tunnel.
Yeah, we seem to be at that point, juncture point, where occasionally we...
All of a sudden, everything's blowing around everywhere.
I think I could jump out of the booth and catch a kite ride.
0-1 the count, runner at second. Big lead for Vogelbach there with 2 outs. And in a pitch called high, it's 1-1. And we got some steady breeze blowing now.
Well, the flags are pretty stiff. Wind blowing out to the left center.
And now timeout called as De La Cruz will go out and talk it over.
That breeze feels pretty good as long as it doesn't
feel
create
nice.
too much interference on the microphones.
You see the flags now picking up a bit out in right field. That truck has been sitting out there all week, and I know they have a promotion here. I think if one of the players hits the sign there, that sign right in front of it, they get the truck. But that truck also has to sit through a lot of rain and weather just sitting out there in right field. A little picnic area out there, which is not open for the finals. That's where you see our camera situated out in right field. Boy, it is steadily blowing through here now. 1-1 the count with 2 outs. The runner at second. Doherty awaiting the pitch from Perez. Good breaking pitch in for a strike 1 and 2.
Slow breaking off-speed curveball. All the hitter could do was watch it drop in for a strike. Obviously hoping for something else, didn't like it.
1-2 the count. And misses for a ball, 2-2. Two and two, 2 outs. Runner at second, 1 in for Bishop Verot. Doherty awaits the pitch. Hit to third. Davila has it. Throw across in time, and that's the 3rd out in the bottom of the 3rd. Bishop Verot gets a run on 2 hits, no errors. A runner left on. We go to the 4th. 1-0. Bishop Verot leading Monsignor Pace in our 4A semifinal here on the FHSAA network. We'll be back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
Do you want to become or stay involved in high school athletics? There's a role for you to play as a contest official. Opportunities are available for both students and adults to get back to the sports you love by refereeing or umpiring contests in a variety of sports, including baseball. Visit becomeanofficial.org to learn how you can register as a contest official with the Florida High School Athletic Association.
And we go to the top of the 4th. Bishop Verot on the board with a run in the bottom of the 3rd. They lead Monsignor Pace 1-0. They've out hit the Spartans 5-1 of the Vikings, and the only error of the game committed by Bishop Verot through the first 3 innings did not come back to hurt the Vikings. So as we go to the top of the 4th, 3-4-5 for Monsignor Pace. David Palenzuela, the first baseman, will lead off. Palenzuela out to the first baseman his first time up, 0 for 1. Our monitor's starting to shake now. And the first pitch from Pasantino is in for a strike.
I noticed. I don't know if our camera would ever pick up that difference, but visually you look down in the right field corner near the foul pole.
And it's starting to move a little bit, it looks like.
The entire light stanchion's shaking so much it looks like somebody's moving a flashlight around down there.
1-1 the count. And in for a strike, 1-2.
It's not affecting the lighting on the, it's probably a flag or something blowing in front that's creating that effect, but we are definitely playing with, ooh, a sharp hit ball.
Yeah, right up the middle, into center field base hit. Palenzuela.
Second hit of the game for Monsignor Pace.
Yeah. Palenzuela's 1 for 2. Leadoff single in the 4th. That'll bring up Tony Davila, the third baseman.
Oh, good answer right there by Monsignor Pace. Coming right back, looking to get a run of their own.
So Davila struck out looking in the first. And first pitch is a strike, 0-1. Oh, a ball, pardon me. Now
Pasantino dropping a curveball in, just went a little low. Second base and shortstop playing two up the middle. A nice pickup. Ball almost got away, didn't block it, kind of picked it. Frankie Romano looking to throw behind the runner, but nothing there.
So it's 2-0. Quick meeting on the mound as Pasantino and Rivera talk it over. Runner at first. They're in a big lead. Swing and a miss by Davila. It's 2-1. So the 2-1 on the way is fouled back to the backstop, 2-2. Where the crowd is very much into this game. 1-0 here in the top of the fourth. And called strike three in the outside corner. Davila didn't like the call. He strikes out looking for the second time today.
Slipped a fastball by him on the outside corner.
And now that is 6 strikeouts for Pasantino, 1 out. Here's Brandon Gomez, grounded to second his first time up, 0 for 1. Takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Guess we've decided to shut the door and close the wind tunnel off. Felt nice about 20 minutes ago, and now it's just straight, blowing straight through on the outside corner for a strike. 1-1. 1 out, runner at first. Leadoff single there by Palenzuela. Gomez grounded to second his first at bat, 0 for 1.
Well, when the gusts are blowing hard enough that it's turning our monitor on.
Did that actually just turn it off? I don't know how that is possible, but okay.
I think it's making some connection shake as it was making it wobble.
1-1 the count. And there goes the runner. That's for strike down the middle, throw to second, and not in time. Nice throw down there by Frankie Romano, but too big of a jump for Palenzuela, who get the stolen base. Needs the scoring position at second with 1 out.
Romano with a rope to second base. He threw the ball down there on a line. You can hang all the Monsignor pace laundry out on that one. Didn't get the call, though.
So down to second, Palenzuela in scoring position with 1 out. The count is 1-2 to Gomez.
Nice pitch to run on. Got a good jump. Stole that one on the pitcher.
So the 1-2 is hit in the air to left field, but it's going to get held up high in the air. The catch made out there by Vogelbach, and Palenzuela will
Marty, I was with you. It looked like it was going to be much more when it left the bat, but he caught it off the end of the bat, the breaking ball. He got him out in front, so he didn't catch the sweet spot, and the ball just carried out to the routine center left fielder catch. 2 down now.
Yeah, 2 outs. Well, that was well hit by Gomez. Here's Manuel Pazos, the second baseman, reached on an error in the second inning. And that pitch is a ball, 1-0.
Pasantino got away with one there, kind of hung a breaking ball. Luckily, he was out in front.
Looks like the wind now blowing in a bit as the count 1-0. Swing and a miss. Another good fastball by Pasantino. Jeez Louise. And it's 1-1. Sorry. Things are falling and all over the place here. Outside 2-1. Didn't mean to react like that, but that was loud. All right.
Little technical difficulties in the backdrop of the booth there, folks.
Passantino breaking pitch is in for a strike, 2-2. 2 outs and a runner at second base still. Monsignor Pace trying to get that tying run in.
Passantino using that go-to pitch, that slow breaking ball, to set up the fastball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another fastball. Passantino blows it right by Pazos. And that is now 7 strikeouts for Passantino. He's had at least 2 in every inning so far but the first. We go to the bottom of the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a runner left on for Monsignor Pace. 1-0 Bishop Verot leading it in our 4A semifinal here in the FHSAA Network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
For the keepsakes that last forever.
Bottom of the 4th, Bishop Verot continuing to lead 1-0 over Monsignor Pace. 7-8-9 for the Vikings in the bottom of the 4th against Alex Perez. The only run of the game in the 3rd inning, an RBI double by Chase Vogelbach, giving Bishop Verot a 1-0 lead, and that's the lead they hold here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, Marty, as each game unfolds here, there's always going to be a hero. And last game, the hero role bounced back and forth as the game went. First, we thought it was going to be Jimmy Lynch. Then American Heritage came back, and then it was Josh Glick that actually closed the door. So who do you think the hero is looking halfway point right now, or looking for right now in this ball game?
Right now, Jeff Passantino.
Passantino is definitely taking charge out there on the mound.
He only has a 1-0 lead, though. Romano singled and was left stranded in the 2nd inning. He pops it up on the infield. And the second baseman, Pazos, will call everyone out. He'll make the play, and Romano is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. So 1 out. Here is Brock Graber, the center fielder, who struck out his first at bat. He struck out, in fact, with 2 on in the inning, and Bishop Verot loaded the bases in the 2nd, then Josh Garcia struck out as well.
Yeah, I'm going to put the danger limit on Passantino, 2 outs in the 5th as far as his stamina. We'll see how if he can get in, if we can get to the 6th, if we can get past the 5th, I think his momentum and his adrenaline will carry him through the 6th and the 7th. But that'll be a bubble right there. 2 outs in the 5th.
There's a strike. The 0-1 is hit foul off to the left out of play, and Graber's in the hole 0-2. Marty Paulman, Mark Schambach here at the FHSAA Baseball Finals from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie as the pitch up high, 1-2. It's a 4A state semifinal game with Bishop Verot leading Monsignor Pace 1-0. The 1-2. Swing and a miss again. Graber goes down swinging and was out in front of it once again.
And straight changeup seemed to get him fooled there.
4 strikeouts for Perez, and he struck out Josh Garcia twice and Brock Graber twice. 2 outs. Here's Bobby Brennan, the shortstop, walked, left stranded in the 2nd inning.
Good old-fashioned pitcher's duel going on here.
First pitch from Perez is hit to short, and a good play, good charge there by Bermudez. He makes the throw to first in time to get Brennan And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Alex Perez and the Monsignor Pace Spartans in the bottom of the 4th. We go to the 5th, still 1-0 Bishop Verot leading it in this 4A semifinal on the FHSAA network. We'll be back to Port St. Lucie in 60 seconds.
The winner of tonight's semifinal game will advance to the Class 4A state championship at 2 p.m. tomorrow against Pensacola Catholic.
All right, to the 5th we go, rolling along so far in this 4A semifinal. 1-0 Bishop Verot is leading Monsignor Pace. And for Monsignor Pace, we'll have 7, 8, 9, De La Cruz, McCoy, and Bermudez leading it off here at the top of the 5th. And all 3 of these hitters were strikeout victims against Jeff Passantino the first time up. Passantino now with 7 strikeouts. He struck out at least 2 in every inning so far but the first inning. But he struck out at least 1 in every inning. De La Cruz, the catcher. First pitch from Passantino, swing and a miss, another good fastball, and he gets ahead of De La Cruz 0-1. Kind of like the looks of this right-hander. He's a sophomore coming in.
Do we know anything about Aaron Soto? Is he a left-handed pitcher? There's somebody warming up in the bullpen for Monsignor Pace.
Well, they didn't provide a roster.
Well, it's at the bottom of their lineup card, but
Aaron
it doesn't
Soto
say.
is a pitcher, yes.
Okay.
He has appeared in 12 games. 0-2 the count to De La Cruz, and he chops it to third. This will be a play for Rivera, throw across, and then the throw takes him off the base. At least Doherty makes the tag to get De La Cruz 1 out. De La Cruz out 5-3. So with 1 out, here's Andrew McCoy, the center fielder, who's 0-1, struck out in the 2nd.
Well, earlier I predicted that second out of this inning was going to be a benchmark to see if Passantino can get through that wall. 2 outs in the 5th. If he can get to the 6th, I think adrenaline will carry him the rest of the way.
McCoy, strikeout victim's first time. Uh-oh,
That's
look
up to
out.
us. A little low.
And that's a little below us.
Couldn't get it.
That was right at me.
Need my fishing net.
Actually, that would have probably caught it. It was just a little below us.
Yeah, 6-foot pole on a fishing net. I'd have had that one.
0-1 is low, 1-1. That's Mike Rideouts.
That one stayed in the booth.
I think that made the booth.
2 doors
Brian
down, I think.
And maybe it didn't hit our booth where Brian and Mike are. Maybe the TV booth down there. 1-2 the count.
Bright House Network booth.
1-2. Called strike 3 right down the middle. McCoy takes the pitch. He's a strikeout victim for the 2nd time today. 2 outs.
All right. Common mistake made with 2 outs is to relax. We'll see what happens right here with Passantino.
8th strikeout now for
Passantino.
Passantino.
That's like a Italian restaurant or something.
Yeah, well, a few of them probably. Up and in, 1-0 to Brian Bermudez, the shortstop who struck out in the 3rd, 0-1. One is popped way up in the air. That's going to make it into the seats over the third base side, and it's 0-2.
Big hop.
Can't keep the ball here. Goes back to the field. This isn't Major League Baseball. I guess we don't have a unlimited supply. 1-1 hit slowly to short. Quick throw across, and the throw made by Bobby Brennan to get Bermudez. 1-2-3 inning again for Jeff Passantino. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-0 Bishop Verot leading Monsignor Pace in this 4A semifinal game on the FHSAA network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
The millions are at the southeast. Pitch a penny. The perfect people for the perfect pool.
We go to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Bishop Verot continuing to lead Monsignor Pace. 1 run, 5 hits, 1 error for Bishop Verot. The Vikings have left 5 on. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Monsignor Pace, who's left 3 on base through the first 5 at-bats for Monsignor Pace, 4 for Bishop Verot. The Vikings at the top of the order. Josh Garcia, the right fielder, leading off. He has struck out twice against Alex Perez, 0 for 2. Lefty gets the right-handed pitcher Perez. First pitch is high, 1-0. Only run in the game in the 3rd inning, an RBI double by Chase Vogelbach. The 1-0 is low, 2-0.
I got to give a shout out to friends David House and his father, ex-police chief Fort Myers, listening up in Orlando in the Winter Springs area.
High 3-0. They have ties to Fort Myers with the Bishop Verot program.
Yeah, Dave House used to play ball with Deion Sanders down there in Fort Myers.
North Fort Myers is where Deion played. 3-0 is on the outside corner for a strike, 3-1. Quite a teammate to have. Yeah, I played with Deion. 3-1 is hit down the left field line, and it's fair right inside the line. Going to get into the corner. Garcia will be at second with a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the 5th. First hit of the game for Garcia, 6th hit for Bishop Verot. And boy, he went the other way and just hit that ball right down the left field line. Good job of hitting by Josh Garcia. Left-hander continues to warm up for Bishop Verot, or pardon me, for Monsignor Pace. It's like,
I think that's Aaron Soto, but I can't be certain. I can only catch one. No, it's not. That's number 25, I think, or 29, Jonathan Hernandez.
Jonathan Hernandez, number 29. Perez has allowed 6 hits now. So nobody out, and Paul Breton, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a fly to center, the second baseman, bats for the Vikings. David Nelson, his first year as the head coach at Bishop Verot, replacing Tom Lasoro, who won a state title in 2011. Now towards second, the runner back in.
Well, outfield drawn in a little bit, so ground ball, they can try to make a play at the plate.
And timeout called.
Nobody out. First baseman playing 2 steps in on the grass, expecting a bunt. See if they'll sacrifice the runner over. Want to try to bunt this ball at the third baseman. Make him field the ball.
It is bunted. It's bunted to first, and it's going to roll down the first base line. That's going to be a foul ball. It hits just outside of first base. Ooh.
That was a risky move right there.
Really
Instead of taking the sure out.
The first baseman coming down there, Palenzuela, decided he was going to let it go foul, but once it got on the dirt there, it's hard to tell. That ball just hit the foul side of the base.
Again, the best play here is to bunt the ball toward the third baseman, make him come up and receive the ball.
So it's a foul ball, the runner back to second, the count 0-1. First base in, Valenzuela again. Perez to the stretch, and the pitch is high, 1-1.
It looks like the left-hander Hernandez has got enough tosses. Jonathan Hernandez coming back to the dugout.
Perez to the stretch. And the pitch. It is bunted down the third base side.
There's a perfect
play. Davila will throw to first. Is in time. The runner gets to third with one out, and boy, he was trying to get a hit there, wasn't Brent? And the sacrifice will go.
Well, as perfect as a bunt that was, it was an even better defensive play by the third baseman.
And Davila made a nice play and a good throw to first. Sacrifice 5-3.
Yeah, the call could have gone either way. It was bang bang. Umpire
Garcia
indicating out.
Garcia to third, now one out though, so the bunt does work that way. Now a chance for Nick Rivera, who is 1 for 2 with a fly to center and a single, and the third, a run scored.
Rivera, power hitter, not allowed to bring the outfielders too far in, even though they want to be medium depth, charge any fly ball and come up throwing home.
Bishop Verot, that's an important second run there at third. Infield comes in for Monsignor pace. First pitch from Perez is up and in, 1-0.
Wow, hanging ball up there. That's a scary pitch to start the at bat with. I think at this point you have a base open. You may want to put him on, set up the double play up the middle. But doesn't get any easier with Chase Vogelbach on deck.
Vogelbach drove in the only run of the game with the double back in the third inning. And he is on deck. 1-0 the count to Rivera. The runner at third and one out.
Left-hander Jonathan Hernandez fully loose and waiting in the dugout for his opportunity should he need to come in.
Perez looks in, and the 1-0 is outside, 2-0.
You know, one thing I've noticed after watching baseball and all the different classifications for 7 full days, Marty, is at the top of the level, most of these teams can compete with each other. There really isn't that big of a difference between 4A, 6A, 2A. Some very good baseball teams put together here.
Perez will step out, go off the rubber. It's 2-0 to Rivera, the third baseman.
Still remains to be seen who will be voted #1 in the state overall if there's a poll, but if I had a straw vote, I would guess Spruce Creek's going to get a lot of those votes.
In for a strike, 2-1. I'd say Spruce Creek, the 8A champion. Archbishop McCarthy, who's won 3 in a row now, in 6A. He'll get some votes for Plantation American Heritage. The 5A champion, who knocked off Tampa Jesuit, who was the #1 team in the country. I'd say this Bishop Verot team would get some votes if they're able to win. Pensacola Catholic as well in 4A. 2-1 the count, and Rivera held up. Pitches outside, 3-1.
Well, if I'm making the decision, I'm not even pitching to him right here. 3-1. I'd put him on, set up the force, take my chances with Vogelbach.
3-1 the count, 1 out, runner at third. Alex Perez looks in, and he steps off. Very deliberate in this inning. Perez with that runner on base, with his team trailing at 1-0.
The thing you don't know is what kind of pinch runners on the bench for Bishop Verot. Should you put him on with a walk? Do they put a speedster in to run for him and steal second base?
And that's ball 4 high.
Well, we may find out here in just a moment.
Second walk of the game for Perez, who has
Re-entry rule is something part of high school baseball, so if they do elect a pinch run right now for the third baseman, they would have the ability to re-enter him.
Jason Vogelbach 1 for 2 with a pop to third, a double in the third that brought a run home down the left field line.
And we have a timeout.
We're going to have a meeting on the mound.
Marty, is that David Nelson?
No. I believe that Thomas Duffin coming out.
Oh, you're right.
David Nelson, the
Wrong
coach
team.
of Bishop Verot. And he'll be discussing it with his hitters down there in the third base coach's box. So big situation here, first and third with 1 out.
And they are bringing the lefty.
Oh, so that will do it for Alex Perez.
This will be a twofold move. He'll be able to hold the runner on at first. Will be susceptible to a safety or a suicide squeeze here as the left-hander has limited vision of that runner at third.
So Jonathan Hernandez, winner, the left-hander, he's 4-1. His 14th appearance, has 7 starts this season, 31 innings pitched, allowed 25 hits, 11 earned runs, 11 walks, 39 strikeouts, and a 2.48 ERA. 4 1/3 innings for Alex Perez, allowed 6 hits, 1 run so far, although the runners at first and third are his responsibility. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Not a bad performance by Perez, but he has been outshined so far by Jeff Passantino and the Bishop Verot Vikings. Through 5 innings, Passantino has only allowed 2 hits, and he struck out 8 with no walks. Vogelbach will be the first hitter that will face Hernandez, the left-hander. We see the left-hander warming up. Bishop Verot 28-2 this season. Their only losses, first game of the year to Ida Baker, 6-5. Then they ripped off 20 wins in a row for their next loss, which is to Fort Myers, 5-3. Fort Myers playing in 7A. Then they've won their last 9 in a row since, including 10-0 in the district tournament over Clewiston, 10-1 over LaBelle to win the district title. In the regionals, 7-0 over St. Andrews, 11-1 over Lincoln Park, and 6-1 over Berkeley Prep.
Tell me, where is Ida Baker?
Ida Baker. I knew this, and now I've forgotten. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Sounds like a cooking technique for a potato.
Bishop Verot at home for the first 2 rounds had to go to Berkeley Prep in the regional final in Tampa, winning that 6-1.
Wasn't there a brand called Or-Ida?
Or-Ida, yeah. Or-Ida potatoes, all right. Make some tater tots.
That's a pretty impressive record. Anybody that can win that many ball games out of 30, 28-2 going into today, right?
28-2, that's right. Like I said, they've won 28 of the last 29 games. They opened the season with that loss, 6-5. So you could say they're on a roll, and they had a 20-game winning streak in there. Here is Vogelbach now facing Hernandez. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Well, Revere, not exactly your garden variety base stealing threat, but a smart base runner nonetheless, and coach will take experience over speed right now. Doesn't want anybody getting picked off.
Foul it off. It's 1-1.
Verot accumulated 6 hits so far in the game. Love to get one more right here to add an insurance run. And the middle infield does decide to play back and turn 2 up the middle. Even the third baseman is back, susceptible to a bunt right here.
First and third, 1 out. The 1-1 is due. Hernandez working slowly. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Got Vogelbach. Actually, that's strike 3, pardon me. It was a 1-2 pitch, so he's out for out number 2. So Vogelbach, the first strikeout victim of Jonathan Hernandez, big second out there.
Huge second out. Now everybody can relax, go for the easiest short out. Don't have to worry about the runner scoring on an out. Outfield can play just a little bit deeper.
Jeff Passantino, the pitcher, 0 for 2. Grounded to short and popped to second. And stepping off is Hernandez.
Well, if you're a hitter right here, you're looking for something on the outer half, because that ball's going to tail away from you out of a left-hander's release. Try to go the other way, not try to do too much. Well, there's a pitch up in the zone, I guess, was outside. I don't know.
It's close, but call the ball 1-0.
Would have been difficult for my buddy Dave House to lay off that pitch, I think.
From Hernandez is a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
Marty, I mentioned this guy, Dave House. He texted me in the middle of the game, let me know he was listening up there. So I'm just giving him a hard time. Played at University of Florida, and but he couldn't make it at Valdosta State.
Interesting how that happens. Maybe you can explain that to me later. 1-1 has popped up. And on the infield, Pazos, the second baseman, makes the catch on the grass in right field for the third out. So Hernandez comes in and gets the job done. He retires 2 in a row with runners at first and third, 1 out. No runs, 1 hit, a walk, no errors, 2 left on for Bishop Verot, who's now left 7 on base. We go to the 6th, still 1-0. Bishop Verot leading Monsignor Pace in the 4A semifinal here on the FHSAA Network. We'll be back in Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
Visit Glossy Finish Photography on the World Wide Web at FHSAA.glossifinish.com. You can then order prints and posters of the players online. But why wait? Find a Glossy Finish brand ambassador in a red vest during the championship games, and they can make sure your favorite player has their photo taken. Glossy Finish, official photographer of the FHSAA Finals.
All right, we go to the top of the 6th. Marty Paulman and Mark Schambach back here in Port St. Lucie, Digital Domain Park, the spring training home of the New York Mets, the home of the St. Lucie Mets of the Florida State League, and it's 1-0. Bishop Verot continuing to lead Monsignor Pace in this 4A semifinals. We go to the top of the 6th. 1 run, that coming in the 3rd inning for Bishop Verot, and they have had other chances. They left the bases loaded in the 2nd. They leave 2 on. 1st and 3rd, 1 out in the 5th, and can't get a run home. So now for Jeff Passantino, he will face the top of the Monsignor Pace order. Alex Perez due to lead off. He was replaced on the mound last inning. His final line, 4 1/3. Allowed 6 hits, 1 run. That run was earned, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts, and he would get a loss, cannot get a win in this game, as Hernandez came in and got the last 2 batters out to end the bottom of the 5th. So Perez now staying in the game as the DH will lead off. He's 0 for 2 with a fly to right and a strikeout. Passantino is still at least 1 strikeout in every inning today. He's got 8 in the game through 5 innings. Allowed 2 hits, no runs, no walks so far either.
Well, let's see if my prediction is correct that Passantino will finish this game after getting through the 5th inning.
Well, first pitch high for a ball, 1-0 to Perez. He's got the top of the order to deal with here.
Well, just 6. 2 hits so far.
1-0. Perez pops it up into right field high in the air, and now moving back a few steps and making the play
so is 8
Josh
strikeouts?
Garcia. 1 out. Yes, 8 strikeouts and 1 out in the 6th as Perez flies out to right. So now Aaron Soto, who had a hit in the first and then a fly to left in the third, 1 for 2 as one of the Monsignor pace hits. Left-handed hitter. 9:15 approaching here tonight in Port St. Lucie. 78 degrees according to our scoreboard in left center field. First pitch to the left-hander is in for a strike, 0-1. Looking in, and now the 0-1 pitch is strike on the outside corner. It's quickly 0-2. Winner will play Pensacola Catholic tomorrow at 2 o'clock for the 4A state championship. 0-2. Popped up. That's going to get out of play off to the left, and it remains 0-2.
That ball left the stadium into the night.
Again, we have a right-hander now in the Monsignor pace bullpen. That is number 27, Louis DeVille, who was up earlier. 0-2, low, and that fooled the Bishop Verot catcher. Frankie Romano thought it was strike 3. He was ready to throw down to third, and the umpire called it a ball. So 1-2 the count. A little bit low, I guess. Now the 1-2 is hit foul down the left side, out of play again, into the seats.
Well, it's happened time and time again. Positano's using that slow overhand breaking ball to set up the heater. See if he comes in his kitchen or tries to go up and away right here, 1-2.
All right, the 1-2.
Oh, he broke another curveball in on under his hands.
Well, a tough game for Soto as he swung at that pitch, and he looked very frustrated. He's a strikeout victim. 2 outs in the 6th, 9 Ks now for.
He's in good company with that strikeout. He got 8 other friends there.
Pasentino now has struck out every Monsignor pace hitter at least once, except for Palenzuela and Brandon Gomez.
Wow, he's got that curveball. He's dealing.
And Palenzuela up now 0 for 1.
He's
or 1 for
corners.
2, pardon me. Takes the first pitch for a strike 0-1. He singled in the 4th and stole second, was left stranded there.
He's giving it the Picasso effect right now, man. Masterpiece.
This is outside 1-1. Now the 1-1 on the way. A little bit low, 2-1.
I guess we're going to go artist. We would go Leonardo da Vinci with the Sistine Chapel for the Bishop Verot parochial school.
2-1. This is outside, ball 3. It's 3-1.
Well, you don't want to get too complacent with 2 outs. Yeah. Falling behind now, 3-1. This is how a rally starts.
No walks so far tonight for Pasentino. Now 3-1 on Palenzuela, one of the more dangerous hitters in the Monsignor pace lineup. 3-1 is popped up on the infield, heading down the left field line.
Got a beat on it.
Oh, and he dropped it. It's a fair ball.
That's the second time in this tournament we've seen that similar play where the ball looked like it was clearly going to be foul when it left the bat, but the wind brought it back into the field of play, and the shortstop overran the ball, and it landed fair.
Yeah, Brennan can't come up with it as the wind did blow that back fair. Palenzuela's at first. We'll have a runner for him.
Shame on Palenzuela. Should have been running that out hard. Would have been standing on second base. Could have had the tying run in scoring position.
We'll have David Delgado to run at first for Palenzuela. I think Coach Duffin agrees. There will be a pinch runner, Delgado at first. But you're right. At that point, Palenzuela should be at second. They gave an error, actually, to the shortstop. He did touch the ball, so.
Regardless, that ball was a can of corn. Gives me a good example.
Can of corn.
Can of corn. I promise you to explain this.
Where do you get that from?
Can of corn is an old term baseball phrase back in the 20s when the grocer would stock the shelves all the way up to the ceiling and had a ladder to get to some of the different produce in the can. Well, he would use a long stick to knock the can of corn off the top shelf and, of course, catch it like a can of corn.
Okay. That's what it comes from.
And now you know.
Now the rest of
that story.
Paul Harvey.
I think that might have been where I heard that for the first time.
Wholeheartedly, it wouldn't surprise me. 2 outs, so the runner is at first. That's Delgado, and now the meeting over is...
It was either him or another legend, Vin Scully or somebody like that.
David Nelson came out to talk it over, and now back to the dugout.
It wasn't Tim McCarver, I can promise you that.
2 outs. Tony Davila has struck out twice against Pasantino. First pitch outside, 1-0. Time run at first base. They called the error there on the shortstop on Brennan as the pitch is in for a strike, 1-1. So second error of the game for Bishop Verot. Top of the 6th, Monsignor pace down 1-0. Up high, it's 2-1.
Well, Marty, I have selfishly have to say I'm kind of glad that the tournament games got moved up tomorrow to 11 and 2. I've got to leave back to Orlando, pick up my son, and go to Fort Myers for what? A baseball tournament, a perfect game event for aspiring sophomore juniors looking for opportunities to play in college. There'll be over 100 teams down there playing on the 2 different spring training complexes down there.
The 2-1 on the way is hit back to the backstop, 2-2. Hammond Stadium, home of the Minnesota Twins down there, and the city of Palms Park. That used to be the Red Sox facility. I think they have a new one, don't they?
They do have a new one. So right. there's 2 facilities put in use at the same time.
Yeah. That'll be starting Friday or Saturday?
Starts Friday. First games are at 5:30.
There you go. So yeah, 2-2. Davila got a piece of it.
The good news is I will not be working. I will be relaxing and enjoying the competition.
That's a quick turnaround. Mike Rideout and myself will be headed back to North Central Florida, but I have a spring football game Friday night to broadcast in Gainesville, so we'll get a little bit of football action amidst all this baseball before we head into the summer. Spring football wrapping up around the state this week. 2-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Davila has struck out 3 times today.
Make that a perfect 10 on the strikeout column.
2 more strikeouts in the inning from Pasantino. As you said, Mark, now 10 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, an error, and a runner left on base. Monsignor pace is left 4 on. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 1-0 Bishop Verot leading in this 4A semifinal in the FHSAA network. We'll be back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
And one installed at high school. Field turf has proven time and time again to be the safest, highest performing, and most durable surface on the planet. Field turf, the ultimate surface experience.
All right, we go to the bottom of the 6th. We're 1-0. Bishop Verot continuing to lead Monsignor pace. In our 4A semifinal game, Marty Paulman, Mark Schambach, and you heard Mark say, a reminder as we went to the break, our championship games tomorrow have been moved up. The 3A championship game originally scheduled for 4 o'clock will now be at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning between Jacksonville Providence and Boca Del Rey American Heritage. And then the 4A championship game originally scheduled for 7 o'clock tomorrow night will be at 2 o'clock tomorrow, and that'll pit the winner of this game against Pensacola Catholic. We will have those games tomorrow for you on the FHSAA network beginning at 11 a.m. Mike Rideout will have the call with Mark on the 3A game. Myself, Marty Palmer, will have the call with Mark on the 4A game, and then we will be done here in Port St. Lucie for the 2012 FHSAA baseball finals. Let's hope the weather holds, of course, tomorrow. It's the big question mark, it seems. Evan Doherty.
No question. They moved it up. It won't be an issue.
I'm glad you're confident. Doherty can't check his swing. It's 0-1. 1 for 2 today, a single and a pop to second.
Slim 1-run lead here. Bishop Verot would love to get a leadoff runner on.
And the dirt now 1-1. Then 1 run in the game coming in the 3rd inning for Bishop Verot as Chase Vogelbach doubled in Nick Rivera from first base. Hits are 6-2 for Bishop Verot. The Vikings have committed 2 errors, none for the Spartans at Monsignor pace. And it's a 1-0 lead for Bishop Verot on the scoreboard. That is inside. Do you call it a strike? No, it's 2-1. Pardon me. It's hard to tell sometimes. Two and 1 the count. Lefty-righty matchup here with Hernandez continuing on the mound for Monsignor pace. And that is definitely inside, and it's 3-1.
Evan Doherty, first baseman. Love to lead off with a extra base hit. Any kind of way to get on base.
3-1 is hit foul off to the right out of play. It's still full 3-2 now, or again full 3-2.
Looks like Jonathan Hernandez a little quicker, a little bit more velocity to the plate. Bishop Verot hitters are going to have to make the adjustment.
So a full count pitch again coming from Jonathan Hernandez, the 3-2. Called strike 3 right down the middle. Doherty strikes out, second strikeout for Hernandez, 1 out in the 6th. Hernandez looking good, has retired 3 in a row as he entered the game in the 5th inning with 1st and 3rd and 1 out.
The jumbo catcher, I call him the jumbo catcher because he's 6'4", Frankie Romano.
Romano is also 1 for 2. Single and a pop to second. And the pitch inside, 1-0. Oh, no, for a strike.
Romano is a senior. Is he signed anywhere that we know of?
I don't know the answer to that. The 0-1 is a ball outside, 1-1.
Showed a good arm earlier. Good release. Runner stole on the pitcher. Stole the base, but it was a clothesline throw.
1-1 is in for a strike, 2-1. 1-2. For the Monsignor pace Spartans in the top of the 7th, 5, 6, and 7. Gomez, Pazos, De La Cruz due up. Hit into right field. That's going to get in for a hit. 2 for 3 for Romano as he lines that one out there in front of Aaron Soto and right, and a runner at first with 1 out. 7th hit of the game now for Bishop Verot, and we're going to have a runner again at first base, number 8.
Tufariello.
Sorry?
Tufariello.
It's number 8.
Oh, is it 8? Cody Zavada.
Yeah.
Now running at first base, number 9, set.
Number 9, pardon me. The numbers are hard to see.
The bright yellow kind of blends in when the lights hit it. So we've mentioned a couple different players. Seth
DeHaven. It's the runner at... No,
I thought he just announced DJ Judge. Is that who's hitting? Okay, we're totally confused now.
Well,
yes.
Yes, DJ Judge is batting for Graber, who struck out twice today, with a runner at first and 1 out. So Bishop Road trying to extend that 1-0 lead with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th.
Did we get a good picture of the runner at first to verify it's number 9?
Let's see if it... Yeah.
I'm going with that.
Pitch up high, 1-0. Well,
yes, it is.
Yes.
Perfect.
Good
Thank
job,
you,
guys.
All right. Seth DeHaven running at first base. DJ Judge is the batter in the batter's box facing Hernandez.
Look up DJ Judge's numbers, his first at bat of the game. He comes in at 375 with 13 RBIs, 4 doubles, 21 hits, 17 runs. And that's down the middle for a strike, 1-1.
I tell you, Marty, being at 4 stories up here in this press box is way too far away from the field. I'm used to being down there in those dugouts. But you know, funny thing is, the saying goes, the further away you get from the dirt, the easier the game looks. So fans watching at home, keep that in mind.
Well, that was a interesting move to first. Back in, standing up is DeHaven. One and one to count with 1 out.
Hitting a baseball with a round bat and a ball that's moving and the pitcher's trying to keep you from hitting it is one of the toughest things to do in sports.
Looks like Frankie Romano is a perfect game All-American, according to what I'm reading here.
Yeah, we mentioned perfect game earlier. Good for Frankie.
Don't see where he's planning to play. 1-1 is outside corner for strike 1 and 2. College commitment is blank.
Maybe uncommitted, maybe looking to get drafted. With his size and his throwing arm, he's got some tools.
1 and 2 the count. Now to DJ Judge.
You know, Marty, a lot of players with what I call draftable skills elect to go to the junior college in the state of Florida, which is very high level. In fact, production and batting averages and ERAs, any kids playing in the state of Florida in junior college is considered equivalent to majority of your Division I colleges around the country, short of maybe, say, the SEC, ACC schools, you know, Pac-10 major conferences.
Go to first again.
And then the beauty of that is, as a signee at the junior college level, if you elect not to sign out of high school, you can be drafted as a freshman at the end of your season, and you can be drafted again as a sophomore. So gives you a little more leverage.
1-2 is chopped to second. Nice play by Pazos. And they got did he get the foot on the base? He did. Boy, almost taking the foot off the base was Palenzuela, but a nice play. Pazos to his left, making the throw and getting Judge. 4-3, now 2 outs. Down to second goes to Haven, and now Bobby Brennan is due to hit, the shortstop.
The winner of the Junior College State Championship Region 8 National Junior College Athletic Association was Polk State this year. They're on their way out to Grand Junction, Colorado for the National Championship World Series out there.
You guys saw, you and Mike saw that tournament in Lakeland.
That's where I first was introduced to the man we all know and love, Mike Rideout.
The
super mouth of the South.
Tournament was over in Joker Marchant Stadium in Lakeland. That's the home of the Lakeland Flying Tigers and the Detroit Tigers, but Polk State wins it this year. They were nationally ranked. All right, 2 outs, and Brennan with a walk, a grounder to short. He's 0 for 1 with a runner at second, and it's a foul back, and it's 0-1.
A little story about that junior college tournament. Polk was destined to win, but they didn't go without any trials. They had a game that was in the winner's bracket against Palm Beach State. They literally had a walk-off double down the line. The runner from second base rounded third, came home, went to jump on the plate, jumped past it. He was so exuberant, missed the plate, went to meet the dog pile at shortstop, and the hitter got called out for missing home plate. They went extra innings. They lost that game.
That's a strike. It's 0-2. Boy, that is a tough way to lose a game.
Had to come back and win 2 more games to get back to Palm Beach State, and then got their sweet revenge and won it.
Well, at least they won, but boy, they made it a lot more difficult on themselves. I've never heard of that before. 0-2.
It was a pretty crazy scene, and it's all caught on tape.
Hernandez looks to second. The left-hander's 0-2 pitch on the way to Brennan is hit into right field, and that'll be an easy play out there, hardly having to move. Was Aaron Soto, and that ends the bottom of the 6th. Bishop Verot gets a single, but another runner left on. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. A runner left. Bishop Verot has now left 8 on base. They have a 1-0 lead, though. We go to the 7th. They need 3 outs to get to the 4A state championship game. This is the 4A semifinals on the FHSAA network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute. All right, we go to the top of the 7th. Bishop Verot trying to move on to the 4A state championship game. They lead Monsignor Pace 1-0 in our second 4A semifinal of the day. Marty Palmer, Mark Schambach back in Port St. Lucie at Digital Domain Park. And Monsignor Pace will have 5, 6, 7 coming up.
Marty, the Spartan faithful, it's hard to cut you off, but they are sitting on the edge of their seats waiting for something exciting to happen.
Well,
they're just looking for a base runner.
A reminder, tomorrow's championship games have been changed. The 3A championship will be at 11 a.m. and the 4A championship game at 2 p.m. And we'll have both games here on the FHSAA network as the 3A game moved from 4 p.m. to 11 a.m. The 4A game from 7 p.m. to 2 p.m. And there's a base hit into center field by Gomez.
And a bunch of standing crowd only now. We have an exciting moment here brewing.
Gomez with a hit. He's 1 for 3. It's only the 3rd hit of the game for the Spartans, a leadoff single in the top of the 7th, and he will be replaced for a runner.
Daniel Delgado now in to run.
It's Danny Delgado. We already had the other Delgado. Yes, Daniel, that's correct. We had David earlier. So Danny Delgado at first. He is the pinch runner.
Do you bunt him over or do you dare risk running on the big arm of Frankie Romano?
Manuel Pazos has reached on an error, struck out.
He
will bunt. Pasantino's only plays to first.
And a clean 1-3 on that play. Runner in scoring position, 1 out. They've got 2 chances to drive him home.
1 out. The sacrifice moves Delgado to second, now in scoring position, and Anthony Dela Cruz, the catcher, who's 0 for 2.
Well, there's not a red shirt sitting down now, Marty. Everybody's off their seat.
And we're going to
clapping.
Have a pinch hitter for De La Cruz. It's Austin Miro, number 13.
Nero, the left-handed batter, facing the right-handed Pasantino. Outfielders playing medium depth. Infield.
De La Cruz was 0 for 2. Miro at .429, only 7 at-bats this year, 3 hits, a run scored. And
now the Bishop Verot fans are up and cheering, trying to cheer their boys on.
And a loud crowd here at 9:37 on Wednesday night. Miro, a left-hander.
Well, battle of the sign of the cross here.
There's pitches hit down the left field line. That is fading into the corner. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, we're going to have a stoppage here. Well, Chase Vogelbach, I think, went head first into the wall in left field trying to catch that ball.
That wall is semi-padded, but he did nothing to help himself. He went front shoulder straight into the padding. Only thing behind that padding is a concrete wall right there.
Boy, this crowd got quiet quickly. It was both sides on their feet, loud, raucous atmosphere in the top of the 7th, and now we're going to see how Chase Vogelbach is. He went right down on the ground and made quite a attempt for that ball, which hit the bottom of the wall there down the left field line. And Chase Vogelbach, who's driven in the only run in the game for Bishop Verot with a double back in the 3rd.
The MTs are cautiously moving down toward the left field line to see if he's getting up, and he's...
Yeah, it looks like...
the players are being asked to step away. He's still on the ground. I'm sorry, that wasn't him. I don't know if we're going to get a close-up shot, but...
well, the count is 0-1 with 1 out. The tying run is at second here in the top of the 7th.
Boy, you're right. You could hear a pin drop after he hit that wall. It was such a collision. Everyone was aghast.
You could see Vogelbach was not stopping. He was heading into that wall to make that catch, or at least try to, and he went head first right into it. So
well, the safer play on that is to slide feet first. Try to brace yourself with your feet as you come into that wall and scoop the ball. He tried to dive head first, didn't realize how close he was to the wall and backed off, but the momentum of running full steam, he just no way he could come to a stop without crashing.
Now we are going to have a couple of EMTs come out here, it looks like. And he is up, it appears. Yep. So that's great news.
I want to clap for him myself there, Marty. That was a heck of an effort, and we're glad to see he's moving around. Let's see if he's going to stay in the ball game. I imagine they're going to do a concussion test.
I think you might have to replace him here.
Yeah. holding up one finger, seeing if his eyes follow. The head trainer for Bishop Verot is there on the scene.
So the runner,
he's putting his hat back on.
The runner at first base,
and he's going to return to left field. All right.
Wow. All right. A little bit shaken up, but he'll stay
toss
in the
a little
game.
bit.
Good to see.
You know, Marty, while the break is, I've had 2 concussions, baseball-related concussions in my career. Once as a sophomore, got run over by a 6'4" guy when I was still only about 5'6" in a rundown between second and first base. And I don't remember much about it other than my friends told me that the next inning, I don't remember this, I came in, I got a base hit, drove in a run, scored a run, remember nothing about it.
Wow, you did all that, didn't remember it? Wow.
The next time, flash forward another about 6 years, pitching in a state tournament in the junior college ranks in Tennessee. We had our 3rd catcher in the game. We called him Ernest T. Bass, but anyway, Ernest, clear pass ball, went to the backstop. I came covered to home plate. He strung me out, threw the ball high, and I got clotheslined by the runner coming in from 3rd. So it's not fun. Let's hope he can remember where he is and why he's here after this inning.
You see those collisions at home plate all the time. You wonder how people don't get more hurt. I guess Buster Posey is the worst example of that, having his leg broken last year, the catcher.
All right, here we go, back to action.
0-1 on the way, and that's a strike. 0-2 in the outside corner. 0-2 now to Miro, the pinch hitter. Runner at second, 1 out. Tying run for Monsignor Pace.
What great poise by Jeff Posentino. After a little bit of a delay, came right back with a strike on the outside corner.
Now the 0-2 is on the way with a runner at second and 1 out. The pitch hit just fouled on the third base side. It had gotten past Rivera into the corner. Vogelbach doesn't really want to go back over there right now.
Bad memories from that corner.
And it's still 0-2.
0-2, deep breaths out there. Number 22, Jeff Posentino.
Looking in is Pasentino, the 0-2. A little bit outside, 1-2.
Good location for an 0-2 pitch. You don't want to leave anything fat. You want to make that hitter extend his strike zone. You might even go back out there one more time.
Bishop Verot dugout really wanted that call. 1-2 the count. Pasentino looks to second, the pitch. Right down the middle, called strike 3.
And he got him. Froze him right there with the fastball.
Miro looks at strike 3. 11 Ks now for Pasentino. And now 1 more out for Bishop Verot, and they're in the championship game. And this was Andrew McCoy earlier. We're going to have a hitter for him, Rafael Vasquez. The last hope for Monsignor Pace. McCoy had struck out twice tonight, so
the infielders making a pact with one another. You're diving, right? You're diving. Everybody's diving in the infield. Nothing gets through the infield on the ground. That runner not going to be allowed to score on a ground ball. Have a feeling Pasentino has plans of his own for this hitter.
Vasquez, 279, a home run, 8 RBIs, 12 hits, 4 doubles, 5 runs scored. Swing and a miss with a fastball and 1.
He was going for the downs with that swing. He's set up for a curveball in the dirt right here. We'll see if Pasentino wants to mix it up a little bit.
0-1.
Straight fastball. Oh my, that was a great location.
Little bit outside the call. It's 1-1.
Tough pitch not to call a strike, but hey, got to earn it here. Semifinals, 2 outs.
1-1. Pasentino looks to second, the pitch. Again outside. It's 2-1.
That one further outside. Definitely a ball.
Brian Bermudez, the shortstop, is on deck, but there are 2 outs.
Pasentino, adrenaline flowing. He's feeling it with his fastball. You got to be looking to go the other way here if you're the hitter.
Rafael Vasquez trying to keep it alive. Pops it up on the infield.
First baseman's calling him off.
Yes, he is, and he makes the catch. Doherty makes the catch, and he chest bumps Jeff Pasentino. What a performance for Pasentino in this game. A complete game 3 hitter. He had no walks, 11 strikeouts, and more importantly, the Bishop Verot Vikings move on to the state championship game as they will try to repeat as state champs. They won in 3A a year ago, beating Pensacola Catholic 4-3. What do you know? They're going to play Pensacola Catholic again tomorrow in the 4A final at 2 o'clock. 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors for Bishop Verot, who's now 29-2. And for Monsignor Pace, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. Their season ends at 22-8. Another reminder, our championship games moved up 3A, 11 o'clock a.m. tomorrow morning. Jacksonville Providence against Boca Del Rey American Heritage. The 4A championship at 2 o'clock between Pensacola Catholic and Fort Myers Bishop Verot. What a quick one this was, about 2 hours. And a reminder, if you like a DVD of this game or if you're a member of the Pasatino family, you might want one of those. Be sure to go to FHSAAsports.com. That's FHSAAsports.com. That is going to do it for our day of 4 semifinal games. For Mark Schambeck and for Mike Rowlett, our entire crew here in Port St. Lucie, I'm Marty Paulman saying so long. This has been a production of Play on Sports and the FHSAA Network. Our final once again in this 4A semifinal, Bishop Verot 1, Monsignor Pace nothing. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. for the 3A championship game. So long for now from Port St. Lucie.
On behalf of Centennial High School, the Trinidad Coast Sports Commission, Digital Domain Park, and the Florida High School Athletic Association,